So first and foremost, Dr. Kohli, we are all coming back from the Labor holiday weekend, and compared to this time last year, this shocked a lot of people. COVID cases are up more than 300%. Now, a lot of you were traveling this weekend with more than 7 million people hitting airports. That's more than double of last year at this time. And all across the country, people were out and about celebrating the three-day weekend, many in crowded places. So, Dr. Kohli, given that so many people went and they celebrated over the weekend, are you expecting a surge in cases?
You know, Sam, 43% of the country is still unvaccinated. And in those people, yes, I am expecting a surge in cases to occur. Because if you don't get that vaccine and you keep doing what you're doing and pretending like everything's okay, it's just a matter of time before the Delta variant gets to you. But I also want to say, do you guys remember what we were doing last year at Labor Day?
I don't remember.
Nothing. We're all sitting at home.
Yeah. But we're all vaccinated. And speaking of which, a lot of our viewers have been writing in, hoping that you'd be on the show because they have a lot of questions about the booster shot. So let me get in the viewer, Latricia, I believe her name is. If we can scroll up on the prompter, guys. I'm trying to see the... Keep going, guys. Okay, so Letitia says, I got the Pfizer vaccine at the end of January. When should I get the booster shot?
Great question, Letitia. So end of January means that right now in September, you're just about in that magic window of 6 to 8 months. But I want to remind everybody that the booster right now is only authorized under emergency use authorization by the FDA for those people that don't have a good immune system, the ones that are immunocompromised. Yeah. So for us, we are not really eligible to get boosters for the Pfizer vaccine until the FDA reviews the data. In fact, I was telling somebody just the other day, if you go out and get a booster right now, not only are you don't have any legal recourse if something bad were to happen, the person that gave you the booster has no legal recourse if something bad were to happen because it's being used without the FDA's approval. So we have to hang in there a few more weeks. I think it'll be next week that the FDA looks at the Pfizer data and gives the go-ahead for the booster.
Okay, and really quickly, I just want to ask, there's a lot of viewers that do watch this every day, but some of them do not. So what would you say to somebody that says, I want to know when I'm ready to take the booster shot, but where can I find that information?
So you really have to wait until the CDC and the ACIP, the Advisory Committee of Immunization Practices, goes ahead and makes that recommendation. So keep a lookout for that. But I have to tell you, I have major FOMO because all my friends have already gone and gotten the booster.
Because they're physicians?
Yes, all the physicians are even going to get the booster because the science supports the booster. So I want to be clear about that. It's just the timing. We just have to do it at the right time. And part of the reason why we have to wait is because we don't even know yet what the right dose for the booster is. We don't know who should get the booster. We're still figuring out the optimal timing. We're still figuring out the safety. So every time I see a post on social media, I try to skip past it. Yeah.
Well, Doc, I'm actually going to take this clip and send it to my comedian group thread because we were talking about this yesterday. Everybody's vaccinated, but some people are Pfizer, some people are Moderna, and they wanted to know, like, if they, first of all, can you mix and match? Can you get a booster that wasn't the original vaccine that you got? And also, again, when should they take it?
Is it even a booster, or is it like just that first shot? I'm confused.
It is a booster because you're boosting the immune system again. It's just sort of like a Kleenex versus a Scotty tissue or whatever. It's just a brand name, really, but it's doing the same thing. So yes, most likely you can mix and match, but it's not recommended at this time because we don't have a ton of information. So you want to stick within the same family. So for me, I got a Moderna shot. I could go get a Pfizer booster today, but I'm not. I'm waiting for the Moderna.
Would that be like wearing Nike and Adidas? Like
one of each shoe, maybe?
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of each shoe, right? Yeah.
Erica, you wouldn't do that.
Well, I know that a lot of people feel like you can't wear Adidas socks with Nike shoes.
Okay, yes, thank you.
But I'm wearing what's clean. Let's keep it 100. If it's clean, I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it. I don't care. You don't know my life. But you kind of know a little bit about my life, so let me ask you this, because we had this question or this conversation this time last year, so it was already on my radar that it is time for a flu shot.
Yes,
but now when we're talking about booster shots for the vaccine, what are we, like, how do we navigate that? Should we still get a flu shot? Should we do both at the same time? Do we wait? What are we doing, doctor?
100% you need a flu shot. In fact, even more so than you needed it last year because we are getting together. We are taking off our masks. We're doing a lot of things we didn't do last year. And it's a misconception that the COVID vaccine will protect you against the flu. So I want to clarify, they're two different viruses. There's no cross-reactivity between the two protections. But the question of taking them on the same day, that's kind of a tricky one. We often mix vaccines. We give them together. We go to the doctor. We get a whole bunch of shots at the same time. But with this particular vaccine, the COVID vaccine, we don't have a ton of information. So the CDC has actually formally said you can get them both on the same day. But personally, my practice, separate them, because there's no harm in taking them on 2 separate days. You just might feel under the weather twice, but
I'm raising my hand over here.
I'm going to call on you.
I feel FOMO like you do, but for different reasons. I got the J&J. I don't hear any doctor, anybody talking about J&J vaccinated individuals and whether or not they need a booster. I don't know what to do.
The J&J, Sam, you guys are the neglected child, because we were pushing it right up front. We were saying one and done, and now look where we are. And it has one of the worst efficacy against Delta. So
right.
I really feel your FOMO.
Why are you smirking? That's weird. That is weird.
I was just looking.
You looked oddly satisfied.
No, this is a real thing. I'm glad that you pointed it out.
Listen, just because some of us made time on a schedule to get 2 shots, that doesn't mean I'm judging her.
There's this vaccine gang that's happening. It's this weird vaccine gang. Y'all all know, y'all are a part of it, where it's like, I'm Moderna, I'm Pfizer, oh no, I'm JJ, oh, I heard the blah, 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 and then you get those looks.
Erica, just because I'm representing the M family, you know, that doesn't mean anything. I'm here for Sam and her J&J. So.
Well, and you know, can I add to that? The doctors that got the boosters, I'm boosted. I'm boosted.
Oh
you know,
my gosh,
so there's even that level of vaccine.
Sounds like a Cardi B song. Yeah.
Wait, what about an antibody test? Because I feel like I am the neglected child. If I went to get an antibody test and saw that I have a ton of antibodies from the JJ, do I still need a booster?
So the antibodies tests that are commercially available don't tell you, first of all, if you have the right type of antibodies, which are the neutralizing antibodies. The second thing they don't really tell you is what the quantity is. Are you down here or are you up here? So really, it's not recommended.
Okay.
And so what I would say to you, Sam, because you're my sister, is the CDC has not made up their mind, but because there's so much Delta in the community, I'm telling my patients that got J&J, they really should go and get boosted with one of the messenger RNA vaccines. And we have a little more information about Pfizer. Even though it's Adidas and Nike mixing, we did find out from Europe that mixing the two actually offers you benefit of both. So if you start with a DNA vaccine, they studied AstraZeneca, but J&J is another example, and then follow it with a Pfizer vaccine, you actually get a 9-fold increase in your antibody levels.
Yeah.
Okay, Al.
Come on over to the M family. You know what we do.
I think that'd be above. Okay, so Dr. Kohli, before we go, there is a new COVID variant that's got a lot of our viewers worried, known as the Mu variant. It's been discovered in 49 states, but Nebraska. Different from Delta. Do you think that this is going to be a whole new surge of hospitalizations, new cases?
You know, we don't yet know. What we know about this variant is that it's got a number of mutations that make it more transmissible, like Delta. It also has a number of mutations that make it evade our immune system, like Beta. And so it's really got kind of the strongest powers from all the other variants. So we're keeping a really close eye on it. It also has 2 mutations that we have no idea what they do. So a little bit of this is wait and watch, but you guys are seeing more and more and more variants. There's an iota, there's a theta, there's a delta, there's a kappa. There's all these variants that are cooking. So you know what I'm going to say next, right? The way to get the variants to stop emerging?
Vaccinate.
Get that vaccine.
Vaccinate, vaccinate, vaccinate. All right.